What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. You guys, I'm pumped. Really excited. Whoa, that was a weird breath. Really excited for the coming days, coming weeks, coming months for Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, all of crypto, you guys. It's going to be great. Here we are, 459 right now. Relative high, relative low. We're right below the 618, pulled back down to the 382.5 area, as is very expected to do in these situations. The next expected move would take us probably up to 584 to 644. We're on a weekly perspective here. We've got this week and the next week, and then November's over. I would expect that we're on our way now. Right, Bitcoin Cash, at least this cycle, and most of its life, it really only knows one pace when it comes to moving up. That's a very fast pace, my friends. Even during this phase here, where we consolidated during our move, right, 2 times. We had a initial breakout and then 2 weeks of consolidation. Initial breakout, 2 weeks of consolidation. We had one red week here. Even if we had this red week, if we had a red week this week, next week would likely be a phenomenal week, right? That would probably take us above $600. So safely confirming the idea, the narrative that we've been spinning this whole month essentially, is that Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash will be above the price of $600 by the end of this month. That's what my expectations are, right? At a minimum, I would add, right? I think more likely, instead of 600 specifically, I think it would be more fair to say 644 potentially, or even higher. Wouldn't it be something if we were at new relative highs by the end of this month? I would love to see that, right? The higher we are, the better, I think. But time will tell. We'll see how it goes, right? Certainly by the end of the year, the targets at 1,300 to 1,900 are still on the table. And it all depends, guys. We really could be anything more than that would be phenomenal by the end of this year or by the end of this move, right? These targets, I want to be clear, I do expect 1,300 to 1,900 by the end of the year. But that's not the end of the move. I think the end of this move is going to continue. Hopefully it's not the end of the move. Hopefully we do continue. But I do think that in January we will continue to build. Probably working our way up to 2,400, 3,400, something like that. Yeah, depending on where we are. If we're at 17 to 1,900, yes, 2,400 to 3,400 is on the table for January, like for the rest of the move. If we're only at 1,300 by the end of the year, then probably 17 to 1,900 by the end of January would be what we expect. You know what I mean? So if we're less than that, then we're going to cry ourselves to sleep, because then that means we're probably not going to see 20K by the end of the cycle. But we'll figure it out. You know, it really is crunch time. It really is kind of do or die time. We still have like a month and a half left before that decision is made, right? And I think in that amount of time, Bitcoin Cash could put a lot of damage in to the upside. I'm hoping it does. Hoping the Green Dragon roars. I don't know if I said it, but shout out to the Dragon Riders. I think I did. We're just doing it anyways. We are bouncing off of our 50 on the monthly RSI. We are, where are we in perspective to this and to the MA ribbon right now? I don't think it's crossed yet. You guys, we're so close to crossing it. What I would love so much, I think you all would, right? I actually think all of us would love it, is that we are underestimating the significance of this, right? High there, high here, each cycle so far, bull cycle 1, 2, and 3, we've hit this line, precisely hit this line. I would think breaking this line alone would promote some kind of significant move. I would also think that crossing this ribbon up to a bullish stance like Bitcoin, right? If we look at Bitcoin, BTC, USD, it's got the ribbon on top, the yellow's on top. We're here, the yellow's on bottom. This is what they call a bullish cross. I would think that alone would be enough to skyrocket us. I would think breaking this line alone would be enough to skyrocket us. The two of them together, which at this point I think it's like they're going to simultaneously happen literally at the exact same time. A little bit of a repeat of the definition there, simultaneously at the same time. Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be wonderful if my predictions that I've been making for basically since April, that would be at 1,700 by the end of this year, at a minimum 1,300, but potentially 1,700. Wouldn't it be phenomenal if we're not even close? Like if we're like way higher by the end of the year? Wouldn't it be great if we were above last cycle's high by the end of the year? And I know that might sound crazy, but the ribbon flipping bullish, breaking out of this consolidation phase, to me it doesn't seem too crazy. To me, these areas here seem very reasonable. But we're about to do some crazy things in this chart as far as like fundamental technicals go, okay? Very intense bullish things. This is a reasonable price area, in my opinion, based off of what we've seen Bitcoin Cash do as far as growth goes this whole cycle so far, right? If this is what makes sense to me, then might it make sense with these absurdly bullish kind of dynamics at play, possibly. We don't have them yet, but when they come into play, which I think it's a safe bet they'll come into play, is it possible that we could be underplaying this thing? You guys, I'm serious. The end of this year is going to dictate, I think, and I should say the end of this move, but really probably the end of this year is going to dictate how far into this fib extension from the all-time high to the all-time low of BCH's history, how far into this significant extension we go, right? Do we stop at 13K, right around this 3786? Do we stop at the 1414, right at this 4618, which also, actually, isn't that crazy? I've been calling for 23K, guys. Look at how that is right on there. That's so crazy. And then we take this cycle high to this cycle low. Look at this. Your 1414 or your 1886 is right up there too. Like it's kind of crazy. What about this one? I want to see. Hold on. I'm a nerd, guys. I'm a little geek with this stuff. Mr. Hat is too, so he probably likes this stuff. I don't know. Your 786 is up in that area, but kind of not. It's like 18K, 17K. I don't know. That one's a little bit of a stretch. All I'm trying to say, though, I'm getting all distracted. I got distracted with that. All I'm trying to say is the higher up we go by the end of this year, the higher up we will go in this overall extended expected area by the end of the cycle. The minimum target's 13K. The probable target, at least for me and what it's been for over a year now, is 23K. But if this crossing of the moving averages here, of the EMAs, bullish, if that's more bullish than I thought, if breaking out of this consolidation phase, breaking out of this trend line is more bullish than I thought, and we are at thousands of dollars by the end of this year, 23K becomes the minimum target. I would love that. I would love that, man. I would really love that. We'll see. I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch. I'm just getting a little hyped up. I hope you guys are getting hyped up too. Don't be discouraged, right? Even if Bitcoin Cash is not at 1,300 by the end of this year, we still got 13K, right? That's a very probable target to hit. And being, like, I'll take that. I'm okay with that. 23K is a nice idea, but I'd be happy with 13K, right? But again, that's not me saying I don't think 23K is going to happen. That I have that circled right now. I deleted that 13K circle for a reason. This is the primary target that I think we're going to hit. But we've always accepted mainly the idea that we'd go somewhere. It's either one of these numbers or the other one, right? We don't really look at this so much. But this comes on the table the higher up we close by the end of this year. So it all starts now. It all starts with this month of November, right? How high up can we close? We're at 458, 459 now. This is where the yellow line is. Okay. Higher up now in its ribbon than it ever has been. If we're expected to close above $600, potentially even above $700, potentially even above this high by the end of this month, right? If we're like somewhere in at least this area or higher, that ribbon's going to cross bullishly. And then we're going into December, one of the more bullish months, historically speaking, for all of crypto, especially during election years, you guys. We're going to go into December with that bullish cross. And I don't care if you're in the Bitcoin Cash community or if you're outside of it, everybody's going to notice that. Anyone with a chart, anybody with a pair of eyeballs or even one eyeball, they might not have an eyeball and they have a parrot that talks to them and tells them what they see. I don't know. Anybody who can identify that this cross has happened, it doesn't matter if they like Bitcoin Cash or they hate it or they've never heard of it, they're going to speculate and get in. This is significant. It's very significant. And then again, culminating that alone is significant. Culminating that with breaking this very significant trend line, who knows what's going to come. This whole video is like me just basically being like, I don't even want to say it. I'm not gonna. It's not a lot of technical analysis, unfortunately. It's more hype. Let's just say that. But for the coming days, to leave it off with some TA. Daily RSI looks very bullish. It looks like what we've done is we had an initial move up, and then we've consolidated. We're probably going to get that continuation of the move, right? Generally speaking, when you move up and you consolidate, you continue to move in the direction of the pattern, right? Or the direction of the move. So that's what I think we're going to do. That's what I think we're in the middle of doing now. Daily RSI looks good. 4-hour RSI looks really good. Up, up, up we go, you guys. And that's all I got to say. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one.